All right, guys, so in this video, I'm going to take you through my 7-year fitness journey. I'm going to show you how I went from 200 pounds to about 150 now, and how I was not able to run 1 mile because I was too overweight to be able to be healthy for my 4th marathon. This is not a real estate video, so if you're looking for real estate, this is not the video for you. But if you want some fitness tips of how to get in shape, keep on watching. All right, guys, we just landed in Duluth. First time ever here. When you last saw me, it was about a week ago. It's actually a cute small airport. It's Duluth, Minnesota. Grandma's marathon is tomorrow. I'm gonna go get my bag since they may be checked in. Say hi to the camera. Look who came to meet me. Guys, bag secured. Gonna head to the hotel now and pick up the bibs, right? Grandma's is tomorrow. How are you feeling about grandma's?
So ready, so ready.
I'm not as confident. So I'll see you guys in a second. So I'm at Grandma's Marathon Expo. Pretty much every marathon or every big marathon in the US has an expo. On my way to pick up my bib. Nerves are settling in. Bib secured. It's go time. Last time you guys saw me, I was in Duluth, Minnesota. That was 5 days from today and 6 days when this video comes out. Before I tell you how that marathon went, let's go over my 7-year fitness journey. So one of the things that motivated me to start my fitness journey, I think 7 years ago, so I would have been 27. I just got tired of being in a state where I felt like I was never like living up to my potential. I was always doing everything half-assed, so that showed on my health, right? Like my nutrition wasn't good. I'm 5'7" on a good day in terms of height, and I was about 200 pounds. I was actually scared to weigh myself because I was so big for my height. And I just woke up one day, I was like, I'm tired of being mediocre. I remembered I played basketball with my younger brothers. The brother after me is 6 years younger than me, and I could not keep up with them on a cardio state. And I remember my brothers, they were all doing these beach body on demand workouts together. That's when P90X was really popular. They actually invited me. It was like, oh, we should all do it together. And that's how I got started working out. I got started working out using beach body on demand. I remembered my barber in the Bronx at the time, George Penn, shout out to you. He got me signed up. And then I started using P90X and Insanity. If you never use these workouts, these are 30-minute workouts that you could literally do in your living room. And that's how I started my fitness journey. All right, guys, so if you follow me on Instagram at Justin Martinez NYC, you probably know me for running. So most people know me for running marathons. I run now about 10 miles a day. That's on average. It's taken me 7 years to build up to that level. I started running consistently in June 2017. I'm reading off of the Nike running app, but I literally started in June 2017, running 2 miles at a 9:38 pace, and I gradually increased 3 months later. I didn't run straight out the gate 10 miles. I just tried to do 1 or 2 easy miles. They weren't easy for me at the time because I just started running. I was trying to lose weight, had ankle problems, and it took me all the way up to like May of 2022, where I was like, you know what? I want to increase to 60 to 70 miles per week, but it took me 5 years to do that. And one of the reasons I was able to increase my volume within 5 years, it was because I incorporated strength training in 2021. All right, guys, so I'm here with my coach, Fraioli, one of the top running coaches in the country. And you're what, 228 marathon runner?
227, man.
227. And what are you running the mile the last month? Was it what, 427?
I did 439. I think I could run 427 in the right situation right now, but the track race I won, I ran 439, and then the national championship for Masters on the road, I ran 440.
Besides being a top running coach, you're a beast also on the roads and track.
Yeah, I've been doing it. I've been doing it a long time. I've been running competitively now for like close to 27 years. I mean, I started when I was 15. I'm 42, so I've been at it for a while.
So I'm glad you brought that up. 27 years, because a lot of people, when they get into running, right, they think they could just go out, run 5 miles, 10 miles, and end up hurt. So what advice would you give to beginner runners? Like, how can someone get into running?
The first step is to just commit and tell yourself that you're going to be a runner. You know, to be the noun, you got to do the verb, right? So to be a runner, you actually got to go out there and run. So I would just say commit to getting out. Maybe it doesn't have to be every day, but maybe it's every other day, right? And just stick to that. And the important thing is that you get out there every day. If you start building up that consistency, like magic is eventually going to happen. Second thing for beginner runners is just slow down. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of new runners make, is they just go out and they're running too fast from the get-go. And when you do that and you haven't built up your capacities, you can't go for very long, right?
Yeah.
So start running easier than you think you need to. And maybe that involves like some walking initially. Eventually you'll be able to run more, but you know, at least at first, like most of your running, if not all of it initially, should be conversational pace. You should be able to have a conversation. If you can't have a conversation, you know, while you're running, start by walking and build in a little bit more walking. You're going to build up your aerobic capacities. You're going to be able to do more at a faster pace for longer, but start slow, start really, really slow, keep things at a conversational pace. But the important thing is that you're just getting out there consistently, whatever that means for you.
Yeah, I think those are great tips, because I feel like so many people just go out too fast.
And then you get frustrated, right? You go out fast, you're like, I'm really frustrated. Oh, that was not fun. I'm not making progress. Then you don't go out for like 3 or 4 days,
Yeah.
right? And that's hard to build a habit. I think people should try to get out every day. Like it's a non-negotiable. Like just get out every day. If you get out and you like walk, run a bit, that's more than you were doing the day before, right? So it's like, do that and do that again the next day. Eventually you're gonna be able to run like a little bit more. And that's how you develop, the habit.
So I'm gonna share with you my running journey. Like, I started running June 2017, and I started running like 1 mile, 2 mile, and I just physically could not run. Like, I was too fat, and like my ankles were unstable. I messed up my ankles playing pickup basketball when I was younger. And just started 1 mile, 2 mile, and my dad would always tell me, if you want to be in the military, you got to run 2 miles under 16 minutes, and that was my goal when I started running. And now we're pushing for a sub 3 hour marathon.
Nobody starts by like going to the Olympics right away.
Yeah.
Everybody started with that first step. And some people started when they were kids, right? So they've been working toward this their entire life. Some people start in their 20s, their 30s, and 40s. It's never too late to start, but you got to start where you are, and then just slowly, gradually, methodically, like build it up over time.
Yeah, we've been working together 18 months now, and I think we actually started working together at a perfect time, because I had a sickness around that time, and you like helped me build back. What would you say you noticed with my fitness journey so far?
I think it's just being more intentional with your running workouts. I think training has intention behind it. So what I've been able to give you is just that intention, right? Like, we got a few times a week where we're trying to do something like pretty specific, and we're working toward this goal, of a sub 3 hour marathon. Well, to be able to do that, there are specific types of workouts that are, required. So I've helped to give you like that framework, and really just, given more structure.
I mean, then we've done a ton of 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathon. Like, I've never did any of that stuff before working with you. I didn't even think about running a 5K race.
Yeah, and you realize too, like the better and faster you are at 5K, 10K, the better and faster you're going to be at half marathon. The better and faster you are at half marathon, the better and faster you're going to be at the marathon. Like, all these things are related. You've got to work, both ends of what I call like the fitness spectrum. So for the marathon, that's generally like 5K to the marathon. We've even run some miles in there, right? I mean, you were racing a mile last year.
Yeah.
I think it's realizing running is pretty vast. There are a lot of different things that you can do, and I think there are a lot of different skills that you need to, develop, and it's important to do that. If you just focus on the marathon, you're always just doing long runs and the same mileage every week and the same races every year, eventually you're going to plateau, and you're not going to make any more progress. So in order to like break through that wall, you've got to work on that opposite end of your fitness spectrum. You've got to like sharpen the 5K, 10K, type of speed. And that's what's going to lead to those future breakthroughs at the longer distance.
I remember we were doing a 5K, 10K workout, and like my 6-minute pace started to feel comfortable. I was like, when I got into running, I would have never thought I could run a 6-minute mile, and to do it multiple times
in a row without stopping.
Yeah, it's just like, it just shows like your training plan works. I mean, we've gone faster. We've had 90-mile weeks. I would never think ever when I started running, I'm gonna run 90-mile weeks with lifting, doing 3 days of lifting. So, yeah, it's been a huge
now
help.
you're at the point where it's like that's normal for you, right? And it's like obviously that takes effort, that takes time, that takes commitment, but it doesn't take anything extra out of you. Like you can tolerate that, and you have a busy life, man. I mean, you're doing, you're all over New York. You're working long days. You have your wife back at home. You take care of yourself by sleeping 8 hours every night or trying to, like eating really, really well. But, for you, you've made like kind of 80, 90-mile weeks like the norm, right? I mean, to a lot of people, that sounds like a lot. To Justin 7 years ago, that would have sounded like a lot and impossible. But you've built toward that where it's like, oh, this is just what I do.
When would you say a runner or someone that started running should reach out to a running coach?
Depends what you're trying to get out of it. If you need that accountability more than anything else, and you're a new runner, you're trying to build that habit, maybe right away. Maybe that coach can give you the structure that you're not even sure that you need, or that you wouldn't adhere to on your own if you don't have that self-discipline yet. They can keep you accountable. So if you're someone who is more performance-minded, you've been running pretty consistently, like you were before we started working together, and you need someone to give it some structure, give it some intention. Maybe it's at that point, where it's like, okay, you don't need the accountability as much as you need the guidance. I mean, I don't think it's ever, too early to look for a running coach.
Thanks for joining us. Always nice seeing
you. Thanks for having me.
All right, so we just finished speaking with Fraioli, my running coach. We went over the Grandma's Marathon recap. Unfortunately, I went to the starting line with an injury that suffered about 6 weeks prior. Also spoke about how to get into running as someone that's never ran before, and some tips to stay consistent. And if you made it this far, I'm gonna talk about some of the mistakes I've done along my fitness journey. The first mistake I've learned is nutrition. Nutrition is very crucial, not just to be consistent in fitness, but you wanna look good, you wanna feel good, and if you don't have good nutrition, you're probably gonna feel like shit. So nutrition is probably the first thing that I would recommend anyone to focus on. When I started working out, yes, I lost about 20 pounds. So I went from about 200 to 180. So I was still overweight, still wasn't feeling optimal. But the good thing was I created a good habit to stay consistent with working out. Then the next step was now to get my nutrition right. So what I did to get in nutrition, I started the keto diet. I didn't know anything about nutrition. All I knew, this diet could potentially help me lose weight fast. So I went from about 180 to all the way down to 147. That was like call it like a 4-month span where I lost about 30 pounds. The downside with the keto diet, I learned this later on. So I did the keto diet for 4 years. What I learned about the keto diet is not a sustainable diet. It's good for short-term gains, but it's not good for long-term gains. Another mistake I found out, you want to keep a diet that's consistent, that you could do every day for the rest of your life. And you also want to make sure it fits your lifestyle. If you get your blood work, it shows you should eat a certain way. So you want to make sure it fits that type of lifestyle. So you want to make sure the diet's good for you. Maybe keto is good long-term for some people, but for most people it's not. Because especially as an athlete now, I need carbs, so I can't do the keto diet nutrition, right? So first thing was I need to get some type of good nutrition. The second thing is I need to follow a diet that's sustainable long-term. And the way I was able to find out about sustainable long-term diet was through my friend and also nutritionist and fitness coach, Jacob Zemer. Jacob Zemer is a great person to follow. He looks at my nutrition every day. We log in everything I eat into MyFitnessPal, which is free. He's a great follow just for nutrition advice. And then if you want some type of workout program, whether you're going to the gym or whether you're going to be working out at home or at home gym, he could actually create a workout plan for you. So we're gonna drop that link down below, and it's really affordable, but you could go to his website and we'll drop some of the workouts that I've done. So second thing was weightlifting. So Jacob helped me get into weightlifting. So again, I've been running and I've been doing my own workouts since 2017. I didn't hire a coach until 2021, and that was Jacob Zemer. Jacob Zemer is the first coach I hired. So I lost weight in 2017 after I started working out. Then I lost more weight when I did the keto diet. But I eventually gained that weight back. So before I met Jacob in November of 2021, I went back up to almost 180 pounds. When I started working with Jacob, I also was like 174. What I learned was I wasn't weightlifting enough, which was making me get injuries. Like I did this David Goggins challenge where I raised 500 meals for the hospitals during COVID, so New York City hospitals. And David Goggins challenge, you have to run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. And during that challenge, I started getting calf problems. What I've learned was, like, as I wanted to increase my mileage in running, my legs just wouldn't hold up. So that inspired me to get into strength training. So strength training is a very crucial component because as you get older, your muscles get weaker and you just want to build good muscles and you want to be stronger as you get older. So that's the second mistake I learned. The third mistake I learned, and this is probably the best performance enhancer. So this was May 2022. I did this event called HPLT. Jacob said he was one of the speakers for HPLT. He had huge people in fitness like Ken Rideout, who's at age 52. He's the top in the world in marathons here. I mean, he had big influencers there. And Jacob was like, dude, you gotta sleep. I was a big 4 to 6 hour a night sleeper. I would get those 3 o'clock crashes. I would drink coffee. I mean, anywhere from 1 to 10 cups of coffee a day. And I always thought the less I sleep, the more I could just be productive in business. Man, was I wrong. But it really took me about a year to say, okay, I could get at least 70 hours of sleep consistently. That was one of the best performance enhancers. And I thought the more sleep I got, the less I was going to be able to do in business. Actually, it was the complete opposite. I was like, yes, I worked probably a little bit less, but I was actually much more efficient. And then in terms as training for my first marathon, I noticed the gains like almost immediately. So, I mean, if you don't sleep enough, you're at higher risk for diabetes, you're at higher risk for like heart problems. Like sleep is the biggest performance enhancer that anyone can do. So stop watching Netflix so late, get some sleep. Before I let you go, in terms of how fitness has improved my business, it's got me a lot more disciplined in my business. As I started the video, I always felt like I was half-assed and everything, and that showed in my health. But now, like I tell my clients, it's like if I'm gonna run a marathon for free and be that disciplined to put in that training, imagine what I'm gonna do to sell your home. I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm gonna make the extra phone call to the buyer. So it just showed up in every other aspect of my life. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, drop a comment below with any fitness questions you might have. I answer all of the comments back. And yeah, like this video and see you guys soon.